This is Patrick from Maxim Motors, and I'm driving a 2014 Aston Martin Rapide S. It's bound to happen. One day, James Bond is not going to be careful. His boys are going to slip past the goalie, and he's going to get some poor woman pregnant. When that happens, this is the car he's going to be driving. The Rapide S is Aston Martin's four-door sedan, but that doesn't mean they've compromised anything. It still has that same giant 6-liter V12 that gets 550 horsepower. Driving around in this car, everyone's stopping. What is that? What is that? What is that? And there's really nothing better than telling people, it's an Aston Martin. The shape is just striking. Check this out. I love opening these doors. It looks like it's about to fly away. Now this grille might look familiar. It is the signature Aston Martin shape. They've been putting these on their cars for decades and decades. But if it looks a little familiar to people who aren't used to such fancy cars, that's because Ford jacked it. And so on the Ford Focus, the Fiesta, and even on the Fusion, they all have a very, very similar grille to this. Ford, come on. Stop stealing from Aston Martin. Now I love filling up my Aston Martins. There's just something more aristocratic of standing here like this, filling up your gas tank. Just a guy gassing up his Aston Martin. If a car's gonna look this beautiful, you have to sacrifice something. And what you sacrifice is visibility. You cannot see a thing out of this. When you're switching lanes, you have to say a little prayer before you go. I don't really know how much sun this is gonna protect you from, but it's got a cool kind of rakish look. It's just luxury everywhere you look. Bang & Olufsen speakers. It's like a Louis Vuitton bag all over your car. I'm 6 feet tall. It's not quite the most comfortable back here, but I think to make up for it, we got a little TV screen over here. Aston Martin provides special Aston Martin headphones. And I even get a little remote. It's perfect for when you're gonna take a road trip in your buddy's close to $300,000 car, but you don't want to miss any episodes of Family Feud. This bag probably costs more than my entire apartment. If your 3 passengers pack very, very light, maybe you can have enough room in here for their stuff for the weekend, but tell them to ship their stuff ahead. I think that that's the good way to do it. The engine is as pretty as the car, so we should look at that. Whew. 6-liter V12. It really says everything you need to know right there. 550 horsepower, gets it 0 to 60 in about 4.8, 4.9 seconds. Top speed 190 miles per hour. And the sounds. Oh, the sounds. Of course, every Aston Martin tells you who built the engine. Hand built in England by Carone Coffee. Hey, wait a second, didn't Carone Coffee make my last Aston Martin engine? So let's pay a special tribute to Mr. Carone Coffee. I owe that guy a beer. Carone, next time I run into you, 2 vodka martinis, shaken, not stirred, on me. Enough ogling, let's drive. And just in case you've never turned on an Aston Martin before, it's actually quite simple. I'm assuming that Rapide is just French for rapid. I never took French, I took Spanish. It was easier. It is very rapide indeed. 0 to 60, under 5 seconds. Tops out about 190 miles per hour. When you have an Aston Martin, it's not your glove compartment, it's your glove box. It's not your trunk, it's your boot. Well, it's not your hood, it's your bonnet. It's not a sedan, it's a saloon. So Aston Martin has a unique way to shift gears. Over here, you push the buttons. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. So if you'd rather shift with the paddles, you got that right here. This is a very important button. Sport mode makes the engine louder, the throttle response more aggressive, and in general, it makes the whole driving experience even more fun. And then you have the world's smallest cup holder right over here. This is definitely not made for big gulps or American drinks. Maybe you could stick like a little espresso cup in here. Say a prayer and merge. Nothing. See, nothing. So a couple of little James Bond-ish things here. If you turn on the nav system, speakers go up when you turn the radio on. So let's review. Glove box, boot, bonnet, saloon. Got it? Right there. All right. I am off to go give James Bond a lesson in contraception. But officer, look, it says Rapide.